CLS, go for your left.
$25. 20. 15. 10.
CLS, go for core stage engine start.
It makes me want to cry. So excited. Literally brings you to tears, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So amazing.
There she goes.
I always get so nervous. I want them to be okay. Oh. So amazing.
Integrity through magnitude on pump fully on. Stand, we have you loud and clear on pump fully on. Now you the same.
So nervous.
Performance nominal. Upper
Look at that.
RCS ready.
It's a beautiful sight, isn't
I always get so nervous. I'm so glad.
If you are joining our special coverage right now of NBC News of the Artemis 2 launch, you have just witnessed history with all of us and all of America that is watching. Guys, what an incredible moment. At first, you see that ball of fire. It takes a second, then you hear it, and then lift off, and you feel it. And guys, a reason to look up right now. Just a reason to look up, and cheers from everyone here at Kennedy Space Center. And incredible, but something very important just happened. We saw the two rockets, right? They detached, Tom, and we're waiting on another critical moment in just a few minutes.
That's right, so keep your eyes on that clock right now. I'm looking over my shoulder with 3:13 into flight. We're gonna wait for 8:06. That's gonna be when the core stage, we have main engine cutoff. And as I said earlier, I always hold my breath until we have that, but they are off to a great start. While we are cheering here on the ground, and literally the building is shaking. In typical NASA speak, they're understated. All systems nominal. That means it's all ready.
Yeah, business as usual. The skies over Florida, the skies then over Georgia and beyond, seeing Artemis and this integrity capsule enter space. Steve, at this point right now, what are the astronauts doing inside the capsule? Holding on?
You expect me to have words right now?
You've been to space,
And that's why.
and it still gets you.
Oh, of course it does, yeah. Anybody who's been to space would find that to be just a beautiful example of human audaciousness. So the crew is enjoying themselves right now. They're watching their systems. They're feeling the pressure. It's very rough on the solid rocket boosters until they come off, and now it's a smooth, accelerating ride.
Al, it was incredible, right? Clear blue skies, and you could just see it.
Yeah, I mean,
Lift off from Earth and just shake us.
but the flame, it's one of those things that television, no matter what you watch, and our crews are terrific and the technology, but to see that flame in person, it's brighter than anything I've ever looked at with my naked eye.
Yeah. Tom, you'd seen obviously this takeoff before. This is the first time with humans, though. Can you tell just from your human eye the power of it? I mean, does it look different? Does it sound any different?
I would say it feels different. Yeah. You know, because the truth is the Saturn V rocket, I wasn't here for that, but that's actually taller, but this is more powerful. Yeah. And it shook the building here. Good comms, that's critical. They reported all good comms. You don't want to be going up into space with bad comms. Yeah. The other important note here is that Reed Weissman told Houston it was a great view.
Oh, you love to hear that. And speaking of views, Tom, what are we looking at right now? Do we know some of these angles that NASA's providing here? What is this here? Is this the back of the SLS? Do we know?
So we are going to be getting multiple camera views. They're taking a page from SpaceX, which puts a camera on everything. Right. So NASA is now putting a camera on everything, and we are going to get the views. And I can't quite tell what that is, but we're going to be getting views from literally watching main engine cutoff. Again, that's going to happen at, where are we at? 5:36. We got 4 good engines right now. At 8:06 in, we'll have main engine cutoff, and then you will eventually, we expect, see the separation. Eventually, that's going to be the next main issue that we watch for very closely. Core stage separation at about 8:18.
So we're about 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes, Steve, from that. How complicated is that process? Because I don't want to say that's a whole peekaboo here, because we just saw an incredible thing happen, but it's so critical.
It is very critical. It's so critical that they've made it as simple as possible to have as few failure modes as you can have.
The other interesting point here, Tom, is that they're not physically doing anything other than just sitting back and watching. This is all automated control from the ground. They have a joystick or a command stick, if you will. They can talk about the thrust and the roll, but for the most part, they don't need to. This is all automated.
And this is a nominal shutdown. Just we have right now showing our viewers here a visualization of what was going on there. And I'm going to ask the control room. That's the visualization of what the separation would look like. I think this is inside NASA as well.
You're looking out of the launch control room right there.
As they were looking right a little bit after takeoff, and actually this might be right now. We're seeing the kind of the same image over our heads as well. As we wait for this critical moment in about less than 2 minutes, which is the separation, and from that moment, Tom, that's when sort of the real business, again, what we just saw was incredible, but the real business into space starts, and the journey around the Earth, because it's not directly to the moon, it's around the Earth, and then around the moon.
That's right, and so they're going to spend, as I said, 24 hours in a high apogee, if you will, a high orbit around the Earth. Essentially, they want to create a huge elliptical loop, if I'm using the right term. Steve is going to correct me. That's going to put them in a huge loop around the moon. And then that allows them to go further. It allows them to go farther than any humans ever. So this is all about configuring for that move, and so far so good. So again, 8:06, we're going to see the core stage separate from the engine, and then we'll watch as Orion, once it's in orbit, they're going to deploy their solar arrays. That gives them power that they need.
And then, Tom, the rockets, as they break off, they fall into the Atlantic. Yep. You know, we fall into the Atlantic. Yep. And then this other piece, the other piece that just is going to separate now. Yeah. That also falls straight into the Atlantic. Okay.
In some ways, this is harkening back to the old days of Apollo, right? So, you know, SpaceX reuses some of their pieces.
Which is incredible technology. And it was a game changer. Yeah.
Amazing. But that's not what this is about. They're going to be dropping, they have dropped their SRBs, and then they're going to be also eventually dropping that core.
And it's right here. We can watch this live right here.
Here we go.
Let's listen in.
Nominal main engine cutoff, so the 4RS-25s have done their job. Now we've got stage separation from the core. That looks smooth as can be, just beautiful, and how wonderful to actually see that on video.
Yeah, and again, since we're outside the NASA building, we hear the cheers about a second before we actually see them. They're a little bit ahead of us, but again, cheers for what we just witnessed there. It was a very quick shot, but you could see, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Steve, is it the capsule that is coming off, or what exactly is coming out?
Capsule and the service module.
Okay.
And leaving the core stage that had all the fuel tanks in it.
And then part of the reason to circle the Earth before they head on their way to the moon is to make sure that the capsule is working, that everything is, that they can navigate, that they can drive this, that everything is working in perfect order.
Yeah, it's like going camping in your backyard before you go to Everest.
Just making sure everything works there. Tom, NASA's providing these visualizations, which this is not obviously what's happening right now, but these are ideas of what's happening, so we can sort of understand this is what it's going to look like right now.
Yeah, listen, I think that we are watching the latest cutting-edge technology at play. I mean, this is truly America at the cutting edge here, and I think it's important and relevant to take a moment and say, wow, we should be collectively, not as Americans, not as North Americans, but just as humans, proud of the achievement here. The humans have been able to do this, and we're about to go even further than ever before. It's exactly what they hoped for, setting the stage to eventually put humans on the moon.
And Al, in your interviews, I know when you spoke to the crew, they thought their ultimate goal was that this would be a moment of unity for the world.
Exactly, because and they said that over and over. This is not about them. This is about what